there's been a lot of talk about the Blackmagic Pyxis 12K, and also prior to this time, there's been a lot of talk about the RED Komodo-X. And if you are a owner of the RED Komodo-X or a owner of the Blackmagic Pyxis 12K, or you are looking into getting rid of this camera, or you have one of these cameras, you're thinking the other one would be better suited for your production, well, get a seat because this video is going to be a long talk and it's going to be more about the Pyxis 12K and as well as the RED Komodo-X. So yeah, I own these two camera and I've been using them both for varieties of production, from documentaries to corporate videos, a whole lot of corporate videos, and to short films, music videos, a whole lot of stuff. I've used these two cameras on different situation, either together or separately or like individually. I've used them in different scenarios. So this video is going to be talking about why I found myself in this situation in the first place. Like, why do I have the RED Komodo-X as well as the Pyxis 12K? At the same time, we'll be talking about the differences between these cameras, the similarities between these cameras. I've also done some like short test footage, like if you're interested to see the differences between these two cameras, which I feel you'll be shocked to see the results. Yeah, I've included like test footage between these two cameras. And lastly, we'll talk about which one is worth keeping, and if you are looking into either of the two cameras, what should be mindful of, and if you should buy either of the two cameras. So to kickstart with, let's talk about why I found myself in this situation. So prior to this time, I found the RED Komodo-X as my A cam, and I've made a video about how amazing the RED Komodo-X is, the image, the RED RAW, and I've not used any RED camera before this time. I've had a play with the RED Komodo original for a day, I think, on a shoot, but that wasn't really, I didn't get to play with the footage or do anything serious with the camera. But yeah, so it's my first RED camera and I've been using it for almost a year now, and it's been like, I made a video saying it's probably the best image I've gotten out of a camera that I own personally. So I still stand by that, but I don't know, maybe by the end of this video we'll find out together. So I own the RED Komodo-X and why the Blackmagic Pyxis 12K. So if you know, the RED is a little bit expensive. It's about £6.5 now in the UK if you want to get a brand new one. But the Pyxis sells for about £4,000 right now in the UK. So we're talking about 2,500 difference. And if you want to enjoy the RED Komodo-X, I'll always advise that you go for the RED TSMC 3 monitor, which is made with Smart HD. So to get like that camera control and that like make your life easy, like if you want to use the RED and that monitor together, it's just one little RMI cable and that's it. Same goes for the Blackmagic Pyxis 12K. Like I would highly recommend if you get the Pyxis monitor, which also with one little USB cable, you get camera control and everything just in that little cable. You don't need to get power, you need to get any other accessories to make those work. So they are in different price point again, like the RED monitor is about maybe £2.5 and Pyxis monitor is less than £400. So these are big figures, like if you put the numbers together. So why on earth will I be paying £6.5 and another £2.5 for a camera where I can get like a Pyxis 12K, which costs about £4,000, and the monitor costs like less than £400, which makes it like £4.5. 6,500 compared to 4,000, and another 2,500 compared to another £400. So those are massive numbers. Like if you put them together, like, is it what's actually using the RED Komodo-X? Well, that's what I was trying to find out. And I got the Pyxis 12K at the decent price, and I was like, when I used these two cameras for about 3 months for different projects, I will see if it's actually worth investing in the Pyxis 12K well over the RED Komodo-X, and then I can sell the RED Komodo-X and the little savings I made off that, I can invest that into another lens or a light or something. So that was why I got the Pyxis 12K, and I've got the Pyxis 12K for about 4 months now, and I've been using that as well as the RED Komodo-X simultaneously most of the time. And sometimes I use them like one for one project. Like I've had the projects where like the client wants me to use the Pyxis, and even though he knows that I have the RED Komodo-X, so yeah. So I've had that on the project, and I've had projects where it's the red that like well suits the production, so I always go with the red as well. So that's why I had the Pyxis and as well as the RED Komodo-X. And now to talk about the differences as well as the similarities, I will have to refer to my notes because there's a lot of things to talk about these cameras. And before we go too deep into this, I would like to let you know that this is not any scientific test or any major proper test of these two cameras. This is more of me on production. I've said this before in my previous videos that if I'm gonna make a video comparing the Pyxis 12K and the RED Komodo-X, it's gonna be more about how I've used them on set and how they actually play into my workflow. So if you're looking at how they actually work for a DP, a cinematographer, or a filmmaker, yeah, probably this is the video for you. So I'll be referring to my notes for some of these. So if you don't mind. I'll start with the similarities. These two cameras share the box style kind of camera, which is a cinema camera style, which everyone's been craving for. I know the Pyxis is the first box style camera that Blackmagic made. So Red has been making like box shape cameras before now, and everyone loves the RED Komodo, original RED Komodo, for that form factor and the fact that you can rig that up. It's so good that it's so tiny and you get that much function out of that tiny body, and the fact that you can put that on different kind of rig is so good. And Blackmagic implementing that into their Pyxis 6K and 12K is also very good. But it's just to note that the Pyxis is a little bit longer than the red and a little bit bigger than the red. I think more, yeah, definitely more heavier than the red as well. But they are both box shape camera, and to add to the similarities, they both have like screen on the camera body. So compared to like more advanced or more expensive cinema cameras, excluding the Osa Cine, most of them don't have like a major playback screen on camera or like main screen to view your image. You probably get like screen for settings and stuff like that, but main screen to view your image is very scarce on the main big cinema cameras. So you either get like a extra screen or a viewfinder. So to have this on these two cameras is actually good, even though, which we'll talk about when we talk about the differences, it might be limited in terms of how you can use these monitors. But I mean, you have it, so it's better to have than not to have it. Yeah, that's another similarity they share. Both have screen on body, which is good. Adding to the shape of the body, they also have V mounts option. Well, the Red has inbuilt V mount splits. Like you can attach a V mount battery straight on the camera, like buying it straight, you can attach a V mount battery on. The Pyxis, on the other hand, has a BPU battery, but you can get like varieties of adapters now that gets you convert BPU to V mount. So you can easily get a V mount adapter on the Pyxis as well, and you get very close to the body. So I'll count that as similarities. They also both have mirrorless mount, which is good because you can get like mirrorless mount and you can also convert that to a PL mount, which I have been doing on these two cameras. On my Red, I have the Mofach Poco. On my Pyxis, I also have the Mofach Poco, which gives me internal ND, which is also a similarities on these two cameras because both don't have internal ND, which we all want in our camera bodies, but they don't. So my best solution, the project available solution, is the Mofach Poco. and this gives me option of putting an ND filter into that adapter, and I get internal ND sort of for both of them. But I'm losing out on the mirrorless mount because I have to use the PL mount when I adapt out. So yeah, that's that. The other thing is that they both share CFS Press Type B media, which I found out to be the best in the class, best in the industry now. I mean, SD card was what I used when I was using the FX6, and it's good, but I mean, comparing that to a CFS Press card, CFS Press is faster, it's more reliable, it's more solid build. I don't think I think it's cheaper than SD card, especially if you go like V90 cards. I think CFS Press is probably cheaper, and then you get like bigger size, like you can get 4 TB of CFS Press card, which is also good. So both of them having like CFS Press card is very huge for me, because sometimes I just like flip cards from different both cameras and use one on Pyxis and then put that same card back into the RED, and I don't have any issue doing that, and it's been working well. And lastly, which is probably the main thing, is that these boats have good image quality and good dynamic range, which I'll get into later on when we're talking about the test results of these two cameras. But I can tell you that either you own the Pyxis or you own the RED Komodo-X, you get absolutely like top tier image quality, and he also get like top tier dynamic range out of these cameras. So if that's what is your main concern, then you can go either of these two cameras. And enough about the similarities about this camera. Let's go into the major category, which will tell these cameras apart. Hopefully will tell these cameras apart. It's the differences between these two cameras. First and foremost, let's talk about the sensor. The sensor you get on the RED Komodo-X is a Super 35 sensor, and comparing that to the Pyxis 12K is a full frame sensor, which also has open gate up onto 12K. Whereas on the RED Komodo-X, you get up to 6K Super 35 sensor. You don't get open gate. IST gets 17:9. You get all that format. You get anamorphic options and all of that, which you also get on the Pyxis. If I'm to rank this, I'll give the Pyxis obviously 1 point over this. But if you also think about the fact that the RED Komodo-X has global shutter sensor compared to the rolling one on the Pyxis, I also give advantage to the Pyxis, to the RED in that category, because um, this in terms of working DP or working filmmaker, these are things that you need to factor in depending on what kind of work you do. Sometimes I found out that the globe shutter on the RED is very, very essential to my workflow. And sometimes the full frame capability of the Pyxis and the fact that you have their open gate, because recently I've been getting some jobs where they're asking for that vertical thing, which prior to this time, I think the first time I'll film something for vertical was last year, which, I mean, I don't know. I don't usually get stuff like that. Most of my stuff are like 16:9 kind of resolution, kind of frame rate. Um, most of what I get is always like 16:9 or 3:2 open gate sometimes. But recently I've been getting like the horizontal and they also want the vertical. So it's good to have the fact that the RED Komodo-X is Super 35. You're already like cropped in compared to full frame, and then you need to deliver in vertical. You are like really tight in. So I did a project back in, can't remember, maybe February or March, and I had to, I think probably February or January, to be honest. I had to deliver vertical as well as 16:9, and I had to do like some tricky shots, and I need room for space. The place I was filming wasn't as big as possible, and I only had the RED Komodo-X with me, and it was quite tricky. I had varieties of lens sets, but still it was tricky to get like some shots. But imagine if I had the Pyxis, then it would probably be easy solution because I can easily go on full frame or full frame open gate and get all of those out. And the other thing to note about the sensor on the Pyxis comparing to the one on the RED Komodo-X is that the one on the Pyxis, if you are coming from 12K to 8K or to 4K, you are not like cropping into your sensor. You are not like losing any size up or down compared to the RED Komodo-X. The moment you go from like 6K on RED Komodo-X to like 4K, you are probably like 1.3x cropped already, which adding that to the fact that the camera is already 1.5 crop compared to full frame, you're losing a whole lot of field of view. And on the Pyxis, you have that full frame, you have that open gate if you want from 12K up down to 4K, which is like, I can't say enough about this. It's so good if you need that function, which I think most people will probably need. One day or not, you probably need that function of having like big field of view. So that's that about sensor and image quality I mentioned. There's not much of a difference to me. You can like see from all of these images I'll be sharing. If you think there is, well, that's that for you. But for me, I think both perform well. They both have good dynamic range. The only thing I've noticed in this test footage that I did, um, I was trying to, I didn't literally set this to test the dynamic range. I was just testing the image quality. I was trying to get the details from the window shots, and I was able to get more detail in that exposed part of the frame on the RED Komodo-X compared to the Pyxis. I don't know if this was how I shot it or to do with how I edited it, but I tried to like get the same look out of both cameras, the same grade. Shot both in RAW, but still the same lens, but still couldn't, like, I used the highlight recovery on the Blackmagic, still can't get that the window side, which is the most exposed side of the image, back like I did on the RED Komodo-X, which is quite tricky because on paper I think the Blackmagic has more dynamic range, and considering that it has the RGB sensor, should probably have more dynamic range than the Pyxis, than the RED Komodo-X. But well, probably if you do more scientific tests, you might be right. I might be wrong, but that's what I found out. So that's that about image and sensor. The other main difference, which is also very important, and I've touched about this in the beginning of the video, is the price point. And this is what led me to this position, because anything to save money, I mean, I don't want to get caught into all of this marketing and trying to like get you to spend money on cameras and all of that. Anything that can do my job and give me the best that I can work with, yeah, I'll definitely go for that. So, talking about the price, the RED, like I said, is 6,500 at least. You can get them used for like 5 grand thereabouts now. Um, the Pyxis, on the other hand, is about 4,000 brand new. You probably can get like 3.5 grand for used, but it's not that much in the markets like used, so it's still much new. So that's 2,500 difference in comparing the price of the camera alone. And like I said, if you want to get like monitors, I've given the options of the one on for small HD with RED and the one for Blackmagic Pyxis as well. But if you want to be like very considerate, probably go with another 5-inch monitor on the RED as well, maybe like a Holyland Pyro 5 or something like that. Well, you probably be spending almost the same thing with the Pyxis monitor, where you use like money control, and you also have to rig you have to get like power into the monitor. You also have to get like SDI and all of those things, compared to you having just one USB that powers the whole thing and controls the whole camera. So that's another trade there. But if you factor in just the camera body alone, fact that they are like 2.5 grand, let's just say 2,000, because like the RED came with the inbuilt V-mount plate compared to the Pyxis, where you need to get like BPU to V-mount adapter. And That'll probably cost you £150 or something. But let's say the difference between this camera is £2,000. With £2,000, you can get a set of, or a little bit over 2,000. You can get a set of diesel Arcanas or Blazer Mantis, maybe 3 sets, or you can also get like, you can probably get like lot for type Oxymera C lenses. You can get one DZO film house prime. You can get like probably 3 or 4 DZO Vespid primes. You can get about 2 DZO Vespid prime 2. So there are a lot of things you can get in that. You can get a DJI Ronin, maybe RS4 Pro or RS3 Pro. You can get lights. You can get many things in that. But I'll leave that for you to decide what you need and what you have already. So if you feel like the Pyxis will like solve all of that for you, and then you get like extra 2,000 to save comparing to buying a RED Komodo-X, that's good. So that's another difference between these two cameras. And lastly, which is gonna be leading to my final point about this video, is the reliability part. So I made a video about a month ago or less than a month ago talking about my my or I don't want to say Pyxis 12K review, but I made a video talking about the Pyxis 12K and the issues I've had with the camera. Don't get me wrong, this camera is so good for what you paid for and what you get out of it. I don't think there's any competitor in the market at the moment. Even the FX5, I mean, they are both probably, well, one is, they are both cinema cameras, but let's not get into that. But the Pyxis 12K is so good for what you pay for it. Like if you pay 4,000, you get 12K sensor, you get full frame, you get open gate up onto 12K, and you get high frame rate, which is also a difference between these two camera. Like if you go up to 12K, which you can't get on the RED Komodo-X. But that aside, so you get a lot of things on the Pyxis 12K, and hopefully if they come up with autofocus for those that are looking for that, you get that as well later. um but but there are just some little things to note. Like I made in that video that I had issue with eating once, which everyone in the comments section mentioned that they've not had that, or or not experienced something like that. And I also made a point about the monitor not responding, and I have to like pop out the USB-C and plug it back in, or turn off the camera and turn it back on. I mean, these are little nuances that kind of affects production. Obviously, if you're doing like documentary or you're doing like events, let's say you're doing weddings, which I don't think Pyxis is the right tool for wedding filmmaking, but let's just say you're filming wedding and let's say it's the first dance and camera overheat or camera stop responding and you're trying to press record and you can't, or something like that. So reliability part, I feel like this is just little things about the Pyxis that gives me a little bit concern. I mean, it's not happening every time, but it's just there, and it's a thing to note. So Red, I've never had issue with it since I've been using it. Pyxis, unfortunately, are those little issues, but it doesn't happen every time. So if you're happy to deal with that, and you might be lucky, you might not have that on your own particular Pyxis 12K. So that's the last thing about the differences. And taking that into my final verdict, I am not probably gonna stay with the Pyxis, unfortunately or fortunately. The camera is good, it's perfect, apart from those little things. But I'll prefer to have a camera that I'm confident in, and I won't have all of those issues with. So I'll probably stick with the RED Komodo-X, even though yeah, I'll probably stick with the RED Komodo-X. And like I said, this is my opinion, this is my workflow. You might have the Pyxis 12K and you've not experienced any of this issue before. So it might be a total different thing for you. But if you are new to the game or you are looking out to get RED Komodo-X or the Pyxis 12K, I would say first and foremost, image quality wise, you get probably the same level of image quality, like very close image quality. You get more like in terms of full frame, and you get like 12K and all of that on the Pyxis. On the same, on the other side, you get like global shutter on the RED Komodo-X, which if you are filming anything fast or you dealing with a lot of light and like on plant sets and you have to walk in and get your shots, pick the RED Komodo-X with the global shutter might be of good use to you. And also you both have RAW, which I should have mentioned on the similarities. They like both recording RAW. I enjoyed the RED RAW probably a bit more than the Pyxis Blackmagic RAW, but I like both, but I probably pick the RED RAW. So that's me, that's my opinion. If you want me to talk about how I color grade my RED RAW or the Blackmagic RAW, please do well to leave a comment down below, and I will put something together and share it as well. So ball is in your court. You want the RED, go for the RED. You want the Pyxis, go for the Pyxis. But for me, I think I will stick with the RED. And that's about it. I'm trying to make this video short, but it's getting too long. Well, if you enjoyed the video so far, please do it to like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This will help a lot, and I'll definitely see you in the next video.